Good day to each and everyone. My name is Angelina Rose Annie Villarnino from BSBA FM3D. So my assigned topic is all about the pawn shop. A pawn shop is a type of business that offers short-term collateral loans to individuals exchange for personal items of value. It acts as a financial institution where people bring in their possessions such as jewelry, electronic, or valuable as collateral against a loan. The pawnshop then evaluates the item's worth and offers a loan amount based on its estimated value. If the borrower agrees to the loan terms and conditions, they receive the cash and the pawnshop holds onto the items as security. Next is how pawnshop make money. The combination of interest income fees, selling, unredeemed items, and a cost-effective business model allows pawnshop to generate revenue and make a profit. Pawnshop make money through a combination of interest, fees, and selling unredeemed items. When someone pawns an item, such as jewelry or electronics, the pawnshop gives them a loan based on the item's value. The borrower pays monthly interest on the loan, usually at a higher rate than traditional banks. The interest revenue is one way pawnshops generate income if the borrower is unable to repay the loan with the agreed upon time frame. The pawnshop has the right to sell the item to recoup their money. These unredeemed items typically sold in the shop or online contribute to the pawnshop's profits. In the definitions of terms pawnshop, there are 9 kinds of terms pawnshop. First is the pawner. It shall refers to the borrowers of a pawnshop. Next is the pawnee. It shall refers to the pawnshop or pawnbroker. Third is the pawn. It is the personal property delivered the pawner to the pawnee as security for a loan. Fourth is the pawn ticket. It is the pawnbroker receipt for a pawn and shall not be considered as an official receipt. Next is the property. It shall include only such personal property which can be physically delivered to the control and possessions of the pawnee. Next is the voting stock. It is that portion of the authorized capital which is subscribed and entitled to vote. Next is the vital records. It shall consist of the loans extended, paid registers, general ledger, journal that may be electronic form, covering the current and at least preceding 5 years of operation and used, accountable forms and permanent records. Example is the articles of incorporations, co-partnership, bylaws, stock certificates, or etc. Next is the bulky pawns. It shall refers to the household appliances, office machines, and the like, which occupy considerable amount of space, measuring at least 1.5 times 1.5 times 0.5 feet. Last is the premises. It shall refers to the area where the pawnshop conduct its business and maintains office. It includes office or storage spaces maintained and or used by the pawnshop which are adjacent to the pawnshop's location. Forms of pawnshop business organization. So there are 3 kinds of forms business organization. First is the single proprietorship. It is the simplest and most common form where the business is owned and operated by a single individual. The owner has complete control over the business and assumes all responsibilities and liabilities. Next is the partnership. In this form, 2 or more individuals come together to own and run the pawnshop business. They share the profits, losses, responsibilities, and liabilities based on the terms agreed upon in a partnership agreement. Last is the corporation. A pawnshop can also be established as a separate legal entity known as a corporation. It offers limited liability protection to the owners or shareholders, and the business is managed by a board of directors elected by the shareholders. Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas requires pawnshop to secure license to operate. So the guidelines under Circular 938 posted on the BSP's website over the weekend requires pawnshops to secure an authority to operate from the central bank. compared to the old requirements of simply registering entities covered by the regulator. So, by implementing this requirement, the BSP aims to ensure that pawn shop operations are conducted in a responsible and transparent manner. It helps to safeguard the interest of both the pawn shop owners and customers, as well as enhance the overall integrity of the industry. The BSP may grant four kinds of licenses. Classification of pawn shop operator license. The following are the powers and scope of authorities of pawn shop operators, depending on the type of license issued by the BSP. In Type A, the basic pawn shop business with not more than 10 offices. In Type B, basic pawn shop business with more than 10 offices and with or without BSP registered corollary business activities including remittance operation. In Type C, basic pawn shop business with more than 10 offices and with BSP registered corollary business activities including remittance operation. In Type D, virtual pawn shop operators are those engaged in pawn shop business through electronic pawning or e-pawning, which refers to systems and processes that enable customers to pawn their personal property through electronic channels. Basic conditions, the BSP shall not issue the B, C, and D pawn shops operator licenses to single proprietorship or partnership form of pawn shop operators. A pawn shop refrigerator organized a corporation shall comply with the SEC requirements on corporate governance of applicable, and as proof of compliance, the said corporate pawn shop operator shall submit to the BSP a notarized certification to that effect. Next is no pawn shop operator organized as sole proprietorship shall transfer ownership over the pawn shop business without securing prior BSP approval. The pawn shop operator shall file the document listed in Appendix P2 before transferring the ownership of the pawn shop business. The Bangko Sentral is authorized under PD number 114 section 17 to issue rules and regulation to implement the provisions contained in the said decree. Next is required from pawn shops reports of condition and such other reports necessary to determine compliance with the provisions of the decree. Third is exercise visitorial powers whenever deemed necessary. Last is impose such administrative sanction including the impositions of fines for violations of the said decree and regulation issued by the Bangko Sentral in pursuance thereto. Registrations and licensing. In registration and licensing, any person or entity desiring to engage in the pawn shop business shall A. Registered with the Bureau of Commerce in the case of single proprietorship or the Securities and Exchange Commissions, the case of a corporation or any other association, and B. A secure license from the appropriate city or municipality having territorial jurisdiction over this place of establishment and operation. Requirement of registrations with the central bank. Any individual, corporation, or association duly registered and licensed to engage in the pawn shop business shall file an information sheet under oath with the central bank before commencement of actual operations, provided, however, the pawn shops duly licensed and operating before the approval of this decree shall, with 6 months from the date of effectivity of the same, register with the central bank. For this purpose, the central bank shall furnish pawn shops upon request with necessary copies of the prescribed information sheet. In the amount of loan shall in no case be less than 30% of the appraised value of the security offered for the loan unless the pawnee manifests in writing the desire to borrow a lesser amount. Capitalizations, the minimum paid in capital of any pawn shop which may be established after the effectivity of this decree shall be 100,000 pesos. Provided, however, the pawn shop established and in operation prior thereto shall comply with the minimum capitalization required under the provision of this section within such time as may be prescribed by the Monetary Board, which time shall in no case be less than 3 years from the date effectively of this decree.